Hello, YouTubers. This is DJ Zombie Cow, along with my friend, who's also the host of this podcast. Sit down and be quiet.
Good
If
save.
you don't mind me, I'm going to sleep now.
Wow, Zack.
You're welcome. That'd be your intro.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think I found something.
What?
Dora the Explorer fanfiction.
Oh no.
Dora the sex addict. Dora lingered in her cousin Diego's bedroom. This is already horrible. Hey, Diego,
Yeah.
I want to show you something, but you have to close your eyes first. Diego turned away from his window and made a questionable look at Dora. She looked like she was up to something. Trust me, she said softly. You're going to like it. Diego closed him eyes and waited 30 seconds, eagerly. Okay, she said softly. Open your eyes. Diego's jaw dropped. Dora had a new lacy bra on. Oh my fucking god. Dora, what are you doing? He asked, startled. Dora smiled. Diego, I'm just giving you a present. Don't you want to open it up? I decorated it with lace and everything, she said, pleading. Diego looked away from his beautiful 18-year-old cousin. They're cousins! He gazed out the large...
I didn't know Diego and Dora were cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins.
I thought they were boyfriend and girlfriend from this TV show.
No! He gazed out to the large window and saw this pink. Yeah, I like how you had to clarify that that she's 18 years old, but it doesn't change the fact that they're fucking cousins.
Well, there's probably Alabama.
That's what it should have been called, Alabama Dora.
Alabama Dora.
He gazed out to the large window.
Alabama Dora. Hello, senoritas and senors. My name is Alabama Dora.
Why are you doing the Spanish talk?
Hola. Today we're going to learn how to say fucking Spanish.
Shut up.
Marita. That's not how you say the F word, but I don't remember. Punto. Punto.
Shut up, you dumbass. I'm trying to read out an engaging story here. He gazed out to the large window and saw the sun setting in an immaculate rainbow of orange, pink, and purples. Then he looked back at Dora and saw a gust of wind from the window brush her hair over her face. Diego stepped...
Oh, Simone.
Shut the fuck
Sorry.
Alright, I almost lost my place. Diego stepped closer to his nearly nude cousin and brushed her hair away from her face. She smiled. Her eyes were sparkling. Then finally, Diego giving in to Dora's forbidden desires. Diego leaned in and kissed her. This is horrible. It was a hesitant kiss, but then Diego loosened up and kissed her vibrantly. And his member swelled in from
I never knew you could kiss away with vibrating lips.
Shit, where was I? Dora pulled away and suddenly smirked. Can I grab it? Can I grab what?
You know what?
Diego was shocked and he stared at her nervously. But he never mentioned the cock. Jeez, Dora, I've never done anything like that before. Dora then made a cute, curious look that Diego loved. She sort of laughed and she asked, Diego, are you a virgin? He looked slightly embarrassed. Yes. Dora put one hand on his member.
With how Diego looks, I probably think he could get more pussy than anybody could.
Then Dora put one hand... Did you leave the party?
What? No.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard a noise that sounded like that. But then Dora put one hand on his member over his... Alright, hold on. Let me check something real quick. We're back on track.
Good?
Okay. I'm ready to start. Then Dora put one hand on his member over his tan pants. She caressed it gently, making his heart beat wild. She put a hand on his chin and made him look at her. There's nothing to be ashamed of, and don't be afraid. She then kissed him on the cheek and whispered into his ear, "It won't hurt." This is getting fucking real. She smiled coyly. Then he, uh, then he went in for a kiss once more and stuck his tongue into her mouth. She massaged his tongue with hers. All Diego could think was, "God, when do I breathe?" And suddenly, a big breath comes out of Diego's mouth, and Dora laughs. "Have you been holding your breath this whole time?" Diego pants. "Pretty much, yeah." She laughs again softly. Diego loves this. Her laugh was angst yet full of poetry, like a Panic at the Disco song. Why is this so poetic? Like,
I have no idea.
"Do you have a condom?" she asked sweetly against his chest. She asks sweetly against his chest. That's not a sentence, I don't think. Actually, I have like 50 in my rescue pack. The Bobo brothers stuck a whole box of Magnums in there as a prank, those filthy son of a bitches. "Ooh, Magnum, really?" she asked, intrigued. "Yeah, but Dora, are you sure you actually want to go through with this? Do you really want to have sex with your cousin?" "Yeah, don't you?" she asked. "Well, what if I get you pregnant?" he asked abruptly. "Yeah, then you'll have a fucked up child." "There you go," she says, giggling. "Pregnancy is the last thing I'm worried about." "Yeah, why don't you be worried about, like, fucking going to jail?" "That's all I needed to hear," he said, and he slips his pants of following his slipped on the condom. "What?" And Dora slides her hands up his chest, making Diego shiver in your euphoria. He was in heaven. Why? He could just hear the heavenly chorus sing. Dora laid herself on Diego's bed, and he chest heaved up and down. Diego's mouth watered as he watched Dora's breasts bounce. "What are you waiting for?" she asked. Without hesitation, Diego was on top of Dora's delicious body. Suddenly unsure again. "Fuck me, damn it! What are you waiting for?" she yelled at him. Fingers dug into his shoulder blades and pulled down at him, forcing him to plunge inside Dora. Dora gasped and moaned with pleasure. "This is so wrong." Dora gasped and moaned with pleasure. Diego was overcome with he forgot he was with Dora. He forgot who he was. He even forgot his name. All I could feel was his junk inside something other than his hand. Zack,
Yeah?
are you hearing this?
Somewhat.
Dora gasped and moaned with pleasure. Diego was overcome with he forgot he was with Dora. He forgot who he was. He even forgot his name. All he could feel was his junk inside something other than his hand. All of that stopped when Benny the Bull came crashing through Diego's door. His face was livid and red with anger. "You whore! You won't fuck me, but you'd fuck your cousin. Fuck you, Dora." "Benny, no, wait," she cried and tried to get out from under Diego, but Benny was already gone. That's it. I'm gonna give this a review.
Fuck.
Dude, this is the best
I
thing.
cannot stay up any longer.
Alright.
I'm going to call you on Snapchat to continue the video. Although I'm probably going to pass out.
Alright.
Alright, night, bud.
Night. I don't know why the camera's on.
I don't know why you did camera.
What? What?
You started the video call, not just a regular call.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now it's a regular call.
Alright, I tried saying that word, but I'm about to pass out on the couch.
Alright, well, I'm gonna keep reading fan fictions.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, probably.
No.
They probably don't understand you too well.
5 seconds.
Yeah, you're probably gonna hear them snore. Alright. MTV has an article about this.
Are you serious?
Stitch and Toothless. MTV found a fan fiction of Stitch and Toothless.
No!
Stitch from Lilo and Stitch and Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. The story. It makes sense to shove Stitch and Toothless into a story together. After all, they're both super cute sidekicks. They've both been drawn as adorably as possible, and they're both totally tough badasses. What doesn't make as much sense is forcing them have sex with each other, because what? The story starts with Stitch carrying a bunch of chocolates. Toothless throws a playful fireball at his friend, ? Only to melt the chocolate, turning it into a delicious treat. Toothless starts licking it off Stitch, and then things get freaky as fuck. Creepiest quote we can actually print. The next lab moves a little lower, and he can hear the big beast. He'd swear the thing was purring as it cleaned up all that chocolate. As that tongue found his crotch, Stitch starts to moan and squirm.
What the?
Don't get us wrong, there's nothing creepy about cunnilingus. Just you know, we'd rather it wasn't performed by a dragon on a little blue alien, if that's cool with you. Read it if you dare.
I can see like maybe the female Toothless, the life theory said the night theory, but the hell?
The story was commissioned by I'm not going to say that. Warning, the story contains material of a sexual nature between non-human males. So if you're too young or easily offended, please go no further. Thank you for reading and please enjoy. Oh, I will, but not in a good way. The four-armed little blue alien rushes through the tropical undergrowth. He can't believe he has to do this again. Or ... again. He just caught this cousin last week, but that bumbling idiot back at the house just had to meddle with things. Jumba had originally designed Skip to lead forward 10 minutes in time, but due to an error, the little purple creature dropped you 10 years into the future. It had been painstakingly troublesome catching him the first time. Now he was loose again. Stitch can vividly remember the scene back at the lab. I'm thinking I have fixed experiment 089. It was simply a matter of reconfiguring his Tashian structure. But before the fat four-eyed purple alien could finish, he dropped the creature's containment case, setting Skip free with his power set to a new, untested level. All that means is that instead of staying home in his nice warm bed, Stitch has to go out in the jungle, tromping through the underbrush in the dead of night, looking for someone he's already caught. Nagabutifa, mutters the blue critter. Just to vent some of his frustration, he tries to keep the muttering down to a minimum, not wanting to alert the fugitive to his presence. But if Jumba's tinkering worked, Skip should be fairly harmless by now. He finally comes across the little creature's tracks and scurries after him. His cousins could be cunning, but most haven't had time to learn the lay of the land, so Stitch is able to figure out Skip's most likely destination and take a shortcut. The little blue alien settles down in the tree. He's good now, but he still loves moments like this. Moments where he can let the old instincts out for some exercise. While he has time, he checks his backpack, making sure his capture gear is all accounted for, and his emergency snack supply is intact. A rustling noise in the undergrowth catches his attention, and the alien crouches ready to pounce as he leaps towards his target. He shouts, "Agaba!" ordering it to halt. Skip, on the other hand, just hears the fierce war cry and sees the blue blur hurtling at him. The little purple monster screams and panics. There is a flash of light, and the two aliens simply blink out of existence. Stitch moans softly as he... Oh, why did I have to say moans? Softly as he gradually comes awake. Something happened last night, he's sure, but he's confused as to what exactly. Somehow that little Fink must have got the jump on him and knocked him out. It's already morning. It takes a few seconds for it to sink into the alien's fogged mind that something is very wrong here. It's cold, far colder than it should be on Hawaii, and while he can hear the ocean, this doesn't resemble any part of the island Stitch is familiar with, and the little blue alien had explored a good-sized portion of his new home by now. Something is definitely wrong here. He looks out over the rocky terrain and the rather spotty scrub grasses and wonders if that idiot Jumba had turned Skip into a teleporter rather than a time traveler. The little alien wait, no. Stitch just sighs and shoulders his pack, nothing to do but find the little pest. He had to have come through with Stitch. That's just how his power worked. Last time he'd had a reset function, all Stitch had to do was find him and hope like hell it still worked. The little alien trudges along, wondering why it's so cold. He thought Earth was a hot place. He shivers but doesn't give up. He can see tracks in the ground, but he's not sure if it's from the purple alien or something else. He bends low, sniffing at the ground. It's a strange scent, but anything he'd never encountered on Earth before, but it wasn't Skip. Maybe it was another experiment, he growls, softly crouching low even though the grass isn't nearly tall enough to hide him. Way up in the sky, something spots the scurrying blue shape below. He hovers for a moment, wondering what this new thing is. He's never seen anything like it. Randyfloss, he mutters as he circles, but no. The ears might resemble a rabbit's, but it doesn't move like one. The black from pearl pulls into a steep dive with a harumph and spirals down at the creature. At the very last second, he pulls up, letting the wind from his wings blow the little blue alien over into the grass. The black dragon snots with laughter as he watches the thing tumble across the field. It's small, smaller than a human, and it's got too many arms. It must be some foreign dragon. As the blue thing scrambles to its feet, it spills its pack, accidentally scattering the contents all over the ground. The dragon rocks again with laughter to see the little blue thing scrambling for its stuff. He laughs so hard he accidentally snorts fire, a situation akin to squirting milk out of your nose in the cafeteria. Zack's asleep now, by the way, so if you hear any weird noises in the background, now you know. As the fireball arcs overhead, Stitch hits the ground, dropping most of his things once more. The heat even manages to melt up the chocolate bars he'd been trying to gather up, but the alien's eyes narrow on the great black figure. He decides he's got more to worry about than embarrassing brown stains in his fur. This must be some other experiment, decides the heroic little alien. He doesn't know what it's doing here, but he knows it has to be caught. He looks about for his gear, but most of it is too far away to be any good. He stands up, stretching to his full height, and glares across at the creature. He thumps his chest and shouts at the monster, "Tibogo!" staring it to come after him. Toothless snorts as he sees the creature stand ready to challenge him. This little thing is brave. That makes it rethink, maybe it's not a dragon after all. Most dragons would run when faced with a much bigger foe, in whatever language was talking in wasn't Dragonese. Dragonese? That's for sure. But if the little thing wants a fight, it'll get a fight. The dragon charges forward, all four legs pumping in a mad rush towards the target. Dragonese, is that a thing in the movie? I don't remember that, but if so, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He sweeps his wing to try and knock the little pest to the ground, but the alien leaps into the air, barely clearing the flashing wing. It lands on the broad, scaly back, trying to punch his way through the tough, scaly hide. Toothless just hisses in frustration as he lashes his tail over his back, sweeping Stitch off. The blue critter is back on his feet in an instant and scrambling back towards the dragon. Again, Toothless leads in with a wing sweep, and again Stitch jumps up and over the move, but this time the dragon brings its tough skull around in a surprisingly forceful headbutt, knocking the breath from the creature and sending him sprawling. Toothless stands over the small blue thing. He kind of wants to keep playing, so he eyes the creature, grinning like a cat. Overclawed, a hand comes up to bat at it. When the dragon's nostrils flare, something smells good. It's an odd smell, something he'd never come across before, but it's oddly enticing. The dragon leans forward. The smell seems to be coming from the blue thing. He takes another deep sniff, but not from all of him. It's apparently the brown stuff smeared on his fur. What? Oh God. Stitch grumbles to himself as he catches his breath. If he had his gear, he'd make sure this overgrown gecko would pay. Blearily, he opens his eyes just in time to see a great big maw gaping over him, and a pink tongue slapping him in the face. The dragon's tongue carries along, slurping up his face, leaving the little alien sputtering with impotent rage.
You kind of lost me with that story.
What?
You kind of lost me with that story.
Yes. Toothless pauses for a second, trying to place the taste. It's not like anything he'd ever had. Not like the fish or rabbits that make up his normal diet. This was sweet, but not the same. Sweet as a jam he's stolen. Scrumlush, mutters the black-scaled behemoth before he leans down to slurp at more of the brown stuff. The alien tries to struggle back to his feet, only to have the snout push him back down onto the ground before that big tongue slurps along his chest. Stitch hesitates. It feels good to be licked like this. Maybe he shouldn't be so quick to jump back into the fight. Oh my fucking God. The next slap moves a little lower, and he can hear the big beast. He'd swear the thing was purring as it cleaned up all the chocolate as that tongue found his crotch. Stitch starts to moan and squirm. It's been a long time. It's been a long, A-L-O-N-G, one word, time since anything touched him there. The humans seem to have all sorts of hang-ups about that. He moans as he continued lapping, gives rise to a problem. His slit parts and a rather substantial member begins to peek free. Discovering the new obstruction, Toothless gives it a lick, wondering if it tastes sweet. He smacks his lips, trying to separate out the new taste from the old. The pink thing starting to poke into view. Doesn't taste bad, he decides. A bit musky, but not bad. He starts back into his task, since there is a plenty of chocolate ground into the fur around his balls. Stitch's eyes cross, feeling that big tongue rooting around his nuts. After so long, it's just too much for an alien to take. He's about to spring forward and find something to do with his dick when a scaled paw ceremoniously rolls him over onto his belly. Stitch's moans grow even louder as that tongue works at the half-melted squares of chocolate he sat on, slurping at each cheek in turn before diving right between the probing that pink little pucker in search of buried treasure. The moaning little alien lets two paws slip to his cock, madly stroking as one branch of the forked tongue stretches him wide open and the other one tickles the base of his nuts. With a grunt, the blue, bald little critter squeezes hard, coming into the grass with a flurry of paws. With a snort, the black dragon pulls back, looking over the thing. It seems he's gotten every bit of the tasty stuff on the little groundling. He's wondering if there's more. Forgetting all about the alien, he snuffles at the ground, surging. He's wondering if there's more. Forgetting all about the alien, he snuffles at ground, searching. The dragon grins as he comes across the remains of the candy bars and their wrappers. While most had gotten all over Stitch, there was quite a bit of good stuff caked onto those tinfoil-lined wrappers. The alien looks over his shoulder, seeing the beast is now leaving him be. It has its back to him now, like he's no longer important. The alien growls softly. He won't be ignored, not by anyone. He'd make that thing pay attention to him one way or another. He stumbles over to where the dragon seems entranced by the remains of the candy that Stitch had brought with him. The big beast doesn't seem to notice when little blue arms start to probe his backside. He finds a vertical slit through and delicate paws reach out and gently tug out the dragon's full length. As the massive length of slick cherry red maleness slips into view, the little alien takes a deep breath. Egaluka! He gasps out in awe. Almost reverentially, he reaches out two hands, stroking the massive length before his big wet tongue lashes out, slurping again along the underside for a taste. Toothless jumps at the strange hands on his backside, but doesn't feel the little thing could hurt him there. He snorts loudly, though, as paws grip him intimately and pulls his naughty bits out into the open air. This could be very hard, thinks the dragon as he peers between his legs. Before he can do anything, however, the stroking paws make him shiver and the lick just makes him lightheaded. As the little thing slurps up along the length of this dragon dong, the black-scaled monster goes weak into the knees, all four of them. He never felt anything like this before. The young dragon flops onto his side, rolling onto his back, his ruby-red member standing out among the blackness of his scales. He looks over at the alien, his eyes pleading for him to continue. Stitch smiles, knowing the creature likes this game now. He clambers up onto the dragon's stomach, all four of his paws stroking the dragon's penis, fingers exploring the shape, each hand tracing a different vein into the pulsing length of meat. The blue experiment wonders what it will taste like in the end. He opens his maw and brings his lips down around the pointed tip. Stitch suckles gently before kneeling down on the beast's belly. This is so disgusting, dude. He strokes the monster cock from base to tip as he tries to take more of the great thing, pushing his lips down until he can feel the member tickling his throat. Holy fucking shit. This is... Take a breather. Take a breather. The dragon whimpers softly. This felt too good to be real. He never imagined that such pleasure could come from his cock. He'd have to show a horror cow later. Maybe even let the other dragon play with the blue creature. Toothless's eyes settle on the blue-furred little rump that seems to be swaying right before his face. It's the sight of the little pink length of flesh that stirs him into action, though. His head moves forward, his tongue flickering out to once more slurp at that protruding piece of meat, as that wide tongue catches not only the cock, but tightly packed little balls as well as the blue fur butt. The dragon grins to hear a strangled yelp from the thing that he's trying to engulf his manhood. Stitch whimpers softly as a fork of that tongue squirms up his ass. Damn, this thing was a quick study. Reluctantly, the little blue creature steps away from the mammoth member and that titillating tongue. He circles around until he finds a second small opening. He looks down at the tight pucker and at his own erection, which had maintained readiness. He pouts, thinking that the big reptile wouldn't be satisfied that way. He thinks about it before bending down, licking the big monster's anus. This gets a snort from the dragon. It's a totally new sensation for Toothless. It seems this blue thing is a veritable font of wisdom. It tickles a little bit. It's not a bad tickle, so he settles down, almost purring from the attentions. The alien's tongue slurps along that pucker's opening, teasing the powerful muscles as he thinks. He lays down along the blue creature's black belly, both right paws gripping the big ridged shaft. Oh my god, he get a breath. This is so weird. One of his left paws, those relentless little fingers, gently teased the anal opening, pressing into the slick pathway, tenderly teasing the powerful muscles as he pushes it in. While this happens, he leans into the right, letting his tongue lash out along the length of cherry wood, both paws stroking it firmly. The black dragon's eyes cross as he feels something going inside him. That's not supposed to happen. He's pretty sure of that. But then the tongue touches him, and those paws seem to calm him down. It doesn't seem so different from grooming, he muses, only to start again as the limb pushes its way in deeper and deeper. Stitch almost curls his body around the dragon's monolith. He can feel the beast free dripping into his fur, his own cock rubbing the base of the dragon's shaft. He can feel every pulse now. He just pushes his fingers in deeper, searching until they find what he's looking for. The gentle strokes, the protrusion, all getting a contented purr from the dragon. But when his fingers press in harder, the big boy really takes notice. Why the fuck are you calling him the big boy, dude? The creature moans as that paw kneads his prostate like bread dough. The little alien rocks himself, his cock sliding along the warm dragon's scales, feeling the fire in the beast's belly, even as ministrations coax forth another sort of eruption. Toothless whimpers and gasps. This is definitely not like grooming. He moans out in pleasure, not knowing if there is anything else to expect. He's never felt anything remotely like this before, but something primal seems to tell him that there is more to come as he feels something else welling up inside him. Knobs start to come into form on his cock. The base of the dragon meat swelling up as a knot forms, pressing into the alien's belly, giving him something to thrust between as he moans out his pleasure. The big dragon doesn't seem to notice, though, as he shudders, tail lashing out wildly. With a roar, the dragon climaxes, showering them both with a white rain of sticky, warm dragon seed. It's so gross. For a moment, Stitch doesn't even notice the climaxing dragon, lost in the bliss of his own orgasm as he sprays across the black beast's belly scales. Moments later, though, his mere handful of spooge is swamped with what looks like gallons of dragon jizz. With a moan, he pulls his arm free before lapping his way up the reptile's member once more. This time slurping up as much of the salty dragon secretions as he can manage. It only seems fair. After all, hadn't the beast eaten all of his chocolate? He should get as much as cream as he can handle. After a good 5 minutes of licking, the dragon is nowhere near clean, but the little blue alien is full. Full! Oh my god! With a contented grunt, he rolls off the beast onto his belly. What's up with the mention of belly? Toothless, in the meantime, shuffles up onto his feet. He cranes his neck around, sniffling at what the blue thing did. It felt good, even when the blue thing stuck something up his butt, and it felt good when he had his penis inside the blue thing's mouth. Ow! His member still seems rock hard as he waddles over to the little alien. Oh my fucking god, just be done. He looks down at the little form resting there on a full belly. There again, belly. The thought that it felt good to have his cock inside something keeps running through the dragon's mind as he looks down at the blue creature. With a smile, he stands over the thing. The little blue alien is almost ready to doze off when he feels a shadow fall across him. His eyes go wide as he feels something pressing into him. Stitch squeaks. He wouldn't be trying to... Naga! He shouts as he tries to crawl away, but strong black forelegs stop him, and this is pretty much rape. And he feels that still slick prick pressing into him from behind. It's a good thing he was designed to be nearly indestructible because with something that was normally his size, it would be painful indeed. But as it is, the lizard's pointed cock tip manages to stretch him wide open. The creature squeals softly. It's not painful, but it's not too comfortable right now. That's for sure. He moans as the big beast goes even deeper. Oh my God, who writes this shit? Toothless groaned softly. Oh, he was right. This does feel good. He wants to push it in more, but the little creature seems resistant. Stop it, you fucking rapist. He wonders what he could do to get more in, and a wicked little idea comes into the dragon's head. He shimmies his tight little butt, crouching down and unfurling his wings. This is so fucking dumb. Before the alien knows what's happening, there is a loud whump, and the pair are airborne. Stitch gripped tightly to the dragon's belly again. The surge from the takeoff, managing to eke a few more inches into that tight little orifice. The beast let his forepaws grip the creature gently by the shoulders, while half the dragon's cock buried in his anus keeps his rear end pinned. The alien whimpers even more now, not just from the dragon's violation, but the fact that he's flying them out over the sea. Toothless climbs up, letting gravity slow him until he hits the peak of his arc. The young black dragon then tucks his wings in and dives towards the sea. At the last moment, he catches himself pulling up from the dive. As he does, the alien shouts, fearful of crashing, loosening his sphincter enough that as the dragon pulls out of the dive, momentum and gravity manage to work him in a little deeper. Oh my god. Toothless moans and starts a series of quick dives, letting gravity pull the creature forward on the way down, only to have it reverse and slam him down a little harder as they work their way up. The black dragon flies in a wave pattern across the bay. He could feel it again, that pressure building up in his belly. Oh my god, stop saying that. Stop saying belly so much. It just feels so good being inside another thing. Oh, he can't wait to show the other dragons. Oh my god, there's only 2 more paragraphs. This is just so weird. Stitch, for his part, has gotten used to it. The roller coaster ride, frightening at first, has started to feel good. It's an added thrill, this feeling of being buggered with the wind screaming past your face. The feeling of that massive cock grinding down on his prostate doesn't hurt either. He moans as they swing up again, pushing down. He can feel the dragon's knobs resting against his butt now. Why are they saying butt? Just say ass. His little cock hard once more as he wonders if he'll be able to come this time without even touching it. Last paragraph. The dragon knows he's almost there, but he knows he needs just a little bit more. Toothless raises up, rolling onto his back at the peak. This time it's not a headlong dive down. The dragon drops like a rock, and with a last jerk of his wings, he stops the downward plunge. That sudden stop is all he needs. With a shout, the blue creature slams down onto the dragon knot. I'm pretty sure. Okay, whatever. It's a lot to take in, but he manages the sudden jerk, causing him to slip over the edge one last time, and the alien spends his orgasm, sprinkling seed all over the foaming waves. Toothless, though, roars and moans as he floods the tight little cock warmer that now hangs limply from his groin. What? Hot dragon spooge flooding his anus now to a second load to match the one ridding in the creature's belly. Oh my fucking god, stop saying that word. He murmurs softly, winging back towards the island. He can't wait to show the other dragons the stuff he learned, but he thinks he'll keep this little blue thing for himself. What, you fucking... No need to share something this much fun just yet. The big black dragon spots a high ledge overgrown with tall grasses and swoops down. As he steps onto the ledge, he feels the knobs go down, letting the blue creature slide free with a wet slurp. The little alien lays on the grass, leaking white fluid from his rump. Oh my... That is such a disgusting description. Toothless smiles and lays himself down, curling around the little blue toy. He purrs softly, letting his fire keep the alien warm. He lays his head onto Stitch, feeling a little possessive. The little alien opens one eye, looking up at the dragon with a sigh before petting its snout and snuggling into the warm scaled belly. And of course, you have to finish it off with that word for the fucking 17th time. Well, I'm glad I finally took the time to read one of these infectious stories. I really want to know who just, like, who... Like, this could be anyone. And it's terrifying. I could be going anywhere with people like this writing stuff like this. It's just... It's such good vocabulary. I mean, there's a couple typos and stuff. But, like, why do you waste this beautiful poetry on writing a stupid fan fiction with two completely random characters? It's just so dumb. Like, I'm not gonna spend time just ranting about these things, but like, it's just, why do you live your life like this? Oh, well, this is an interesting way to do our first podcast. I hope you beauties enjoyed it, which you probably didn't. Zack fell asleep, but he hasn't snored that much, so that's good. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, or night, or rest of your year. And we'll see you next time, and we'll probably won't be reading fanfics. Hopefully. See ya.